Ladies and gentlemen, your life is a reflection of your thinking. You're not poor because you lack money. You're poor because you've been trained to think like poverty. You're not stuck because the economy is broken. You're stuck because your mindset has been hijacked by limitation. Tonight, I came to challenge your thoughts, not your wallet. If you don't change how you think, money will ruin you when you finally get it. But if you learn to think like a millionaire before you see a million, you won't just earn it. You'll multiply it. This is not a motivational speech. This is a mental transformation. And I dare you to stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to tell you has the power to shift your generation and build a future that poverty can't touch. Every millionaire you see once walked into a room with no money, but they had a mind that could create it. A poor man with a rich mind will never stay poor. A rich man with a poor mind will eventually lose it. All stop praying for cash. Start developing your thinking. Most people wait for the miracle of resources. Millionaires create miracles through resourcefulness. They think in systems. They think in solutions, not problems. They see lack and imagine opportunity. You don't need $1 to start. You need a decision to stop thinking like a beggar. What you see with your mind will control what you pursue in your life. Millionaires don't see money, they see value. And when you focus on creating value, money becomes a natural consequence, not a primary goal. A man with vision is never poor, he just hasn't been paid yet. Millionaires are not ruled by emotions, they are governed by principles. They do not spend to impress, they invest to increase. They wake up early, they say no to distractions. They sacrifice pleasure today for power tomorrow. If you lack discipline, money will embarrass you. Money follows meaning. Every true millionaire understands this. They are custodians, not consumers. They find their assignment in life. Then, wealth finds them. Until you discover your purpose, money will avoid you. Why? Because wealth is attracted to order, and purpose is the foundation of order. You manufacture thoughts every day. What you're producing in your life is not a result of your salary. It's the result of your internal production line. You're either manufacturing wealth or you're mass-producing mediocrity. Stop leasing your thoughts to fear. Start investing your imagination in vision. Because if you can build it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. Stop asking for money. Start demanding transformation. Because when your mind is renewed, your life will follow. Millionaires don't think about surviving, they think about serving. They don't just think about earning, they think about expanding. And if you want to live like them, you must first learn to think like them. Change your mind. Change your money. Change your world. Wealth does not begin in your hands, it begins in your head. The most dangerous lie ever told to humanity is that money is the measure of wealth. That deception has imprisoned millions of people in a cycle of chasing paper while never discovering power. Your true wealth is not what you deposit in a bank. It's what you deposit in your mind. Until you understand that, you will forever be rich in potential but bankrupt in purpose. A person with no money but with a wealthy mind is simply a millionaire in training. But a person with all the money in the world and a poor mindset is simply a ticking time bomb of loss. You can give a poor thinker $1 million and come back in 5 years and they'll be back where they started. Why? Because the external always reflects the internal. Whatever is not built in the mind cannot be sustained in life. The mind is the womb of every reality. You cannot live above the level of your thinking. Your life rises or falls not on your environment, not on your background, not on your education, but on your mindset. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Not so he will become, so he is. That means if you think like lack, even with money in your pocket, you will behave like poverty. You'll hoard, you'll fear, you'll self-sabotage, because you believe there's never enough. But when you think like abundance, even with zero in your account, you'll act in faith, invest in vision, serve with purpose, because you know your source is greater than your situation. This is why two people can be raised in the same house, live in the same city, attend the same school, and one becomes an empire builder, while the other spends life in survival mode. The difference is not in their income. The difference is in their outlook. You must stop blaming your life on your location and start reprogramming your mindset. Wealth is not in what you possess. It's in what possesses you. It's in how you process problems. It's in how you see time. It's in how you value ideas. It's in what you do with opportunity. Rich thinkers don't wait. They create. They don't complain. They construct. They don't fear loss. They understand that everything lost can be rebuilt when the mind is intact. Some people lose a job and lose their identity. Millionaire thinkers lose contracts and birth companies. One setback becomes seed for reinvention. Everything God creates starts with a seed, and the most powerful seed He ever gave you is your mind. It's the incubator of destiny. If you plant poverty in it, it will produce limitation. If you plant vision in it, it will produce wealth. If you want to change your income, start by changing your thoughts. Money is not the beginning of wealth. It is the byproduct of it. Wealth begins in the mind. Always. The greatest deception the world has sold you is this, that you must have money before you can think like wealth. But here is the truth. Money is not the master of your mindset. It is the servant of your mentality. You don't need a bank account full of cash to carry the mindset of abundance. You don't need to drive a luxury car to think like a legacy builder. You don't need the applause of the world to validate the worth of your ideas. You don't need permission to think like prosperity. Millionaires are not born in mansions, they are born in moments of mental revolution. Long before wealth finds their hands, it visits their thoughts. You must understand this principle. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. That means before money ever shows up, the mind must be prepared to manage it, multiply it, and make meaning from it. The reason many never grow beyond their environment is because their environment lives inside their thinking. You can take a person out of poverty, but if poverty is still inside their mind, they'll return to lack no matter where they go. But if you put the mindset of vision, value, and victory in a person, even in a wilderness, they will find a way to build a garden. This is the difference between consumers and creators. Consumers wait for resources. Creators use resourcefulness. Consumers spend, creators invest. Consumers look for comfort. Creators look for calling. When you begin to think like money, you stop seeing limitations and start seeing possibilities. You don't need capital to think like a capitalist. You don't need investors to start acting like an innovator. You don't need a platform to prepare like a leader. Thinking like money means you study, plan, envision, strategize, and discipline your life as if you're already responsible for millions, because one day you will be. Most people are held hostage not by their bank accounts but by their belief systems. They say, I can't afford that, and they shut their mind off. But wealth thinkers say, how can I create the value that affords this? The mindset of lack closes doors. The mindset of wealth opens them. You can be broke temporarily, but when your mind is rich, you will never stay there. The man who has no money but has a vision, discipline, and courage to act on ideas is wealthier than the man with millions and no purpose. Never confuse the presence of money with the presence of wealth. Real wealth is thinking generationally, acting intentionally, and living purposefully. It is the conviction that you are not a beggar in this life. You are a builder. And builders don't need bricks to start building. They need blueprints. The blueprint is your mind. Before the world ever sees your mansion, your business, your impact, they must meet your mindset. You don't need money to think like money. You just need the courage to think differently. Wealth does not begin with labor. It begins with vision. Before anything valuable ever shows up in your hands, it first shows up in your head. Everything created in this world, whether buildings, businesses, systems, or nations, was first a thought in someone's imagination. That means the wealth you're waiting for is not outside of you. It's trapped inside your vision. The greatest tragedy is not the absence of money, it's the absence of sight. When a man cannot see beyond his current condition, he cannot create anything greater than his current situation. Vision is the womb of value. And until you discover what you are supposed to build, you will continue to chase what others are building. Many People run after wealth as if it is something they must find. But millionaires understand something deeper. Wealth is attracted to value, and value is born from vision. What you see determines what you pursue. If all you see is survival, then all you will seek is a paycheck. If all you see is problems, then all you will do is complain. But when you see solutions, innovation, impact, and destiny, your life takes a different shape. The wealthiest people in history were not the ones who inherited money, but the ones who saw something others didn't see and served it to the world. You were not born to hustle for scraps. You were created to manifest something so unique, so powerful, that it demands compensation. But the compensation doesn't come first. The clarity of vision does. When you see the invisible, you can do the impossible. Until you gain a clear revelation of your assignment in life, you will always devalue your time, your gifts, and your opportunities. Vision gives your gift direction. It tells you where to go, what to say no to, and what to invest in. You will never value your seed if you don't see your harvest. Look at any prosperous person, and you will find someone who saw something long before it was popular. They saw systems before society caught up. They saw platforms before people believed in them. They saw solutions before problems became headlines. And because they moved on vision, value followed. And where there is consistent value, wealth must obey. This is a law of life. The mistake most people make is they chase money without developing value. But money is not loyal to wishes. It is loyal to value. If you cannot see your future, your present will enslave you. Vision lifts you out of the ordinary. It breaks you free from routine and calls you into responsibility. You don't need 10 steps to wealth. You need one revelation of who you really are and what you're really carrying. That's where value is born. And when value is birthed, wealth cannot stay away. Vision is the birthplace. Value is the child. And wealth is the reward for raising it well. Wealth is not first measured in money. It is measured in discipline. Long before a man counts profits, he must first count costs. And the cost of greatness is self-mastery. Discipline is the invisible currency that wealthy people spend every day to build visible success. Without it, talent is wasted. Ideas die unborn. Potential is never converted. You can have the sharpest mind, the most brilliant idea, and even divine favor on your life. But if you lack discipline, you will live in cycles of promise without possession. Because wealth is not attracted to desire, it is attracted to diligence. Discipline is what makes millionaires look like they have more time than others. It's not because they have 25 hours in a day. It's because they control how the hours are spent. They do not negotiate with their goals. They don't consult their emotions when it's time to execute. Discipline trains your body to follow your vision. It forces your habits to serve your purpose. It silences the voice of comfort so you can hear the voice of calling. Without discipline, your life will always bow to whatever feels good instead of what is good. The average person prays for money but lives without structure. They desire increase, but their life is a garden of inconsistency. They start things but never finish. They get excited but never commit. But wealthy thinkers understand this law. Your future is hiding in your routine. What you do daily is a prophecy about where you will end up. Millionaires don't become wealthy by accident. They don't just work hard, they work with focus. They don't just stay busy, they stay aligned. They don't run after everything. They master a few things consistently, relentlessly until results must appear. Discipline is also the power to delay gratification. Many people are poor not because they don't make money, but because they cannot control their appetite. They buy what they don't need to impress people they don't like, with money they don't have. That is not a money problem. That is a discipline problem. Wealthy people don't just invest money, they invest restraint. They understand that what they don't spend today funds what they can build tomorrow. They are not in love with looking rich. They are committed to becoming it. And beyond finances, discipline governs relationships, decision-making, time, and character. You can be gifted but ungoverned. You can be passionate but easily distracted. But when discipline is at the center of your life, your character becomes bankable. People can trust you. Doors open not just because you're talented, but because you're dependable. Wealth follows order. And discipline is the system that creates and protects that order. So understand this. Money is not your problem. Discipline is. Because when you master discipline, money becomes predictable. Wealthy people don't get lucky, they get organized. Discipline is the currency they spend daily, and wealth is the interest that returns faithfully. Prosperity is not the goal, purpose is. And when purpose is discovered, pursued, and fulfilled, prosperity follows like a servant following its master. The tragedy of our generation is that people want to be rich before they understand why they exist. They chase after money without ever asking the question, what was I born to do? But you were not created for the pursuit of paper. You were created for the fulfillment of purpose. And until you understand the assignment on your life, every dollar you gain will feel empty, and every success will lack peace. Purpose gives prosperity its meaning. Without it, wealth becomes a curse dressed in gold. You must understand this eternal law. Purpose attracts provision. The reason many people struggle financially is not because they lack intelligence or opportunity. It's because they are not aligned with the reason for which they were born. When you are walking in your divine assignment, heaven becomes your partner. You don't have to chase favor, favor finds you. You don't have to manipulate doors. Doors open to you because purpose gives you access. Money is not hard to find when you're walking in the path you were designed for. God funds what He orders. And where there is purpose, there will always be provision. Too many people are building lives around profit instead of building lives around meaning. They take jobs they hate, start businesses they don't believe in, chase trends instead of truth, all in the name of getting ahead. But you were not born to chase trends. You were born to set them. You were not born to chase money. You were born to create solutions that attract it. When you discover your purpose, your life becomes magnetic. You stop running after success, and success begins to find you. Purpose gives clarity. It tells you what to say yes to, what to say no to, what to endure, and what to walk away from. It gives your time value and your energy direction. The richest people on earth are not those with the largest bank accounts, but those with the clearest sense of mission. When you know why you're here, you stop wasting time on things that don't matter. You start investing in things that multiply your assignment. And here's the truth. Real wealth is not just about what you gain. It's about what you give. Purpose-driven people are givers by nature because they understand that what they carry is not for them. It's for the world. Money follows those who solve problems. Resources chase those who meet needs. And the most valuable person in any room is not the loudest, but the one with the clearest purpose. So if you truly want to prosper, don't start with money, start with meaning. Dig into your purpose. Discover your assignment. Prosperity was never meant to be your pursuit. It was meant to be your partner in fulfilling the reason you were born. Your mind is not just a place of thought. It is a production center. It is a divine manufacturing plant, equipped to produce the reality you live in. Every day you are producing something. Attitudes, decisions, words, responses, imaginations, expectations. The question is not whether you are manufacturing, because you are. The real question is what you are producing and why. The quality of your life is the direct result of the quality of your thinking. Just like a factory, your mind takes in raw materials, information, beliefs, memories, desires, and turns them into products, behaviors, habits, and ultimately, outcomes. If the input is broken, the output will be limited. If the mindset is small, the results will be average. But when the mind is expanded by vision, truth, and understanding, the output becomes transformational. You cannot produce wealth with a mind full of fear, doubt, and insecurity. You cannot build legacy while manufacturing excuses. Some people keep wondering why their life doesn't change, why opportunity seems to skip them, why progress seems slow, and the answer lies in the machinery of their thoughts. Their mental factory is operating under the control of past trauma, broken belief systems, and the poison of comparison. As a result, they manufacture cycles instead of success. They manufacture limitations instead of leadership. They manufacture survival instead of strategy. What you repeatedly think about becomes the product of your reality. Thoughts are seeds, and the mind is soil. If you plant weeds, you cannot expect a harvest of fruit. Wealthy people protect the factory of their mind with everything they have. They control what enters it, who speaks into it, and what occupies it. They understand that one broken thought, if repeated long enough, can derail an entire destiny. They do not allow fear to take root. They do not allow distractions to govern their decisions. They are intentional about what they feed their factory, because they know they are the ones responsible for what is being produced. Most importantly, they manufacture ideas. They live in creativity. They produce solutions. They are thinkers before they are earners. This is why it's dangerous to only focus on financial strategies without renewing your mind. Money will only multiply what's already in your head. If your mind is full of scarcity, money will feed fear. If your mind is full of vision, money will fuel purpose. The enemy of your success is not the economy, it's a mismanaged mind. And your future depends on what you decide to manufacture from this day forward. So you must ask yourself daily, what am I allowing my mind to produce? Is this thought taking me forward or holding me back? Is this idea aligned with my destiny or tied to my past? Because your mind is working whether you know it or not. It is building something, every hour, every moment. And the quality of your life tomorrow will be the product of what you manufactured in your mind today. Ladies and gentlemen, let me leave you with this truth. Wealth is not first about what you earn. It is about how you think. If your mind is poor, your life will shrink to match it. But if your mind is rich, even the world cannot limit you. Millionaire thinking is not about chasing money. It's about embracing purpose, cultivating vision, walking in discipline, and producing value with your life. You must shift from waiting for change to becoming the change. You must stop living from the outside in and begin living from the inside out. Everything you need to become who you were created to be is already inside you. Not in your salary, not in your neighborhood, not in your bank account, in your mind. It is time to renew it. It is time to challenge every thought that told you you're not enough. It is time to reject every belief that kept you small, silent, or stuck. You were born with dominion, born with potential, born to lead, born to solve problems that only your mind, fully activated, can solve. The world does not need more noise. It needs minds that have been transformed by purpose. Stop measuring your future by your current resources. Millionaire thinking begins long before the money shows up. It begins when you see yourself differently, when you talk to yourself differently, when you wake up not with fear but with fire. You were not born to survive, you were born to create. You were born to reign. You were born to be fruitful, to multiply, to subdue, and to rule. So I charge you, guard your thoughts, renew your mind, clarify your vision, master your discipline, obey your purpose. Because when you think like a millionaire, you don't just change your life, you change generations. You don't just build wealth, you build legacy. And may I remind you, money is a tool, not a target. Make it serve something greater than yourself. Make it serve your assignment. Think like the person your future needs you to be. Walk like someone entrusted with nations. Speak like someone sent with solutions. Live like your mind is the birthplace of miracles. And if you'll dare to think like a millionaire even before you ever become one day you'll wake up and realize you already are. Thank you. God bless you.